Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. Tiguan. Say it 3 times fast. It's fun. Tiguan, Tiguan, Tiguan. Anyway, this is newly done, like really well done now. This has always been kind of the sportier of the crossover options, and now it stays that way. It's still very sporty, nice little turbo under the hood, and decent everything. On top of that, it is larger and much more useful. A good sized cargo area in this now. Usable back seats, adult usable back seats. It's the way I need to say it, adult usable. Before, not quite so much. So really well done. Volkswagen did a good job on this update. You will see from this interior though that the Volkswagen penchant for minimalism, which I like to call Teutonic design. Teutonic. Say it again. Teutonic. Really fancy way of saying German. Volkswagen's Teutonic design is still very alive and well in this, and it is an acquired taste. So you either like it or you don't like it. I personally kind of like Volkswagen interiors. There are things that I wish they had that they don't have, and so on and so forth, but there are a lot of things that I really do like about them. They're simple, straightforward. They don't make any fuss about anything. Some people don't like that, but regardless, this is very well done. So we're going to go through the whole thing. We'll start over here like usual. Here's your mirror adjustments, windows here, window lock right there. That's it. Nothing else special. Before we go any further, I should say this is the SE package, which is about the mid-level for this car. It comes with a few good things and a few other things that it doesn't have. Up here, I should point those out. There's the door locks and the door handles, so they're up pretty high in this car. Over here's your lighting. I like this because it's really easy to see what's going on. Just tunk, and you're there. You see it's on auto right now. There could be some options if there were some options, but there aren't, so they're not over there. This is actually your fuse box, and your hood release is that handle right there. So you can just kind of see it. You grab that and go tunk, and that opens the hood. And then Volkswagen did a nice thing where you just grab the front and pull. You don't have to like reach and find the knob or anything. I'll have to do some footage of that and splice it in here. Down there's my Tiva, trusty Tivas. 70 degrees today, finally. Anyway, and the pedals. Over here is your adjustment for the steering wheel. All right, I'm pointing out a lot of things that I probably don't need to. They're kind of obvious, but anyway, cruise control stuff, pretty straightforward. I don't think there's anything special to show you. This right here is your safety management stuff. So if you look at that screen, when I push that, you see what pops up. Now you can go up and down and change those. You can toggle them on and off. A little bit useful. You know, sometimes things like, especially the rear cross traffic and the front assist, they can get a little pushy, and maybe you don't need that for a little while. You can shut it off. These do turn back on automatically when the car is shut off and restarted, just FYI. And then the rest of this is probably pretty straightforward. You can up and down here, set, reset, and so on. Down here's volume controls for your infotainment. Infotainment. Over here, this is the controls you would use on that most of the time. So you use these, you page through the menus right here, you go up and down through them here, you hit OK there. Voice activation right here for hands-free. Works pretty well for the basics. Beyond that, you're either going to need to train the car, so you have to spend some time with this and talking to it, or rely on using the touchscreen. The touchscreen is really good, so I'll show you that. Also watch, I'll talk to you about that later. And then here, this is it's labeled as a view button. It's more like a, well, it's more like a deep dive menu button. So you can see I just pressed it and it popped up the same menu that did because of the menu that is on right now. So this changes what you're looking at. It basically jumps to the submenus as you're going through the menus. And if you're already on the main menu screen, This quickly does it, and then it changes the view of what you're looking at. So you have to actually push it to shut it back off. So to close that. Marginally useful, I think that's how I'll put it. And here's your track control, so you bounce back and forth on the tracks. It's kind of nice because when you're holding the wheel, you got both hands. You can run the tracks here, and you can do the volume over here. Pretty cool. I like the setup. So there you go. That's the steering wheel. Looking over here, you got your signal turns, and then you can see the indicator is bright and obvious as to what it does with the headlamps. Right here is the flasher indicator. So it's basically telling you when you go up and down, that's the turn signals. Signal turns. Over here, washer wipers, etc. So this is the speed here. Push it back once to run the... let me see if I can get that in the screen. There we go. Push it back once to run the rear window. Push it back second time all the way back. It's a toggle, so it'll bounce off of it. That runs the squirters back there, and pulling it forward runs the squirters up front. And then you can see the settings as you go down. So you pop it down for one swipe, and you go up through these for the intermittents, low and high speed. Looking at the instrument cluster. These are aggressive bezels, so it's a little hard to get a good shot. That's probably pretty all right there. Down here, this is your trip set, so you can see how much I've put on it. I will say that almost all of those miles are in town. I did very little highway on this. I probably was on the freeway for maybe 30-ish of those miles. So that's a lot of in-town driving, and you can see how fuel efficient it is. I didn't put a drop of gasoline in this all week. I kind of spaced off on doing my own, fill again and see how much it used, fuel economy test. So I'm just having to go off of what the computer in the car is telling me, but still very, very good. I hardly used anything in all that driving. Over here's your tachometer. You can see how high it goes. This is turbocharged, so there is a lot going on under the hood when you really want it, but it's not a sports car, but it's very sporty. So this is easily one of the sportiest options in this segment. Over here is engine heat. Over here is the speed. So you can see you have the American numbers up there, which are a little bit optimistic at 160, but still very, very, Canadians probably can get 200 kilometers out of this. You can get 200 kilometers an hour out of this. You Canucks can run pretty fast. Over here's the fuel, as I pointed out. And then you have a few things, indicators and whatnot, and then there's your driver information screens. There are a few things that I wish it had. So when you're going through these main menus and assist systems, which is what that other button I showed you on the left was for, when you're going through these menus, one thing you'll note that's glaring and missing, especially for me, is there is no regular digital speedometer. You can get this average speed, right? Average. I'm pretty sure that's Swedish for average is what that means. I don't know. Just making it up, umlaut or slash. Yeah, you get it. All right. But you can't get just a real-time speed, which is annoying. But otherwise, the menus have a lot of good stuff in them. You can find, like this right here is it's showing you the actual status of the vehicle, like what's going on, and your phone, audio system, assist systems. This doesn't have a lot of them. This menu right here is basically all of them that comes with this particular package. There are more available, so there you go. Moving along, let's get to the infotainment. Look at that giant screen. So before we get started, I will point out there already is a published video of how to hook up Bluetooth using this. Two different options. There's two ways to do it. So there you go. If you need that, it's a very short, quick video. Go look it up. So really simple, not a lot going on. Jumping to the menu, if I can get it to, oh, I turned it off. That's why. I turned it off because the audio is on. There you go. So jumping to the main menu for it, this is basically it. The only other thing that's on this is vehicle settings. So other than that, this is what you got for infotainment. These are useful if you have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, etc. Here's your App Connect for that. I wish it would stay focused. It's because it's a reflective surface. You can go through images that are stored on your device if you're storing them, media, etc. Most of this is pretty straightforward, but I like this because it's quick. The downer is it can't really do a lot. But you see you have hard buttons over here and over here. Lots of cool stuff. You can jump straight to the apps. I don't have everything connected. I've disconnected it so I can do this video. You can jump to sound settings and where you want the sound, so on. I mean, really nice system. I really like it. And like I said, quick and useful, just not a whole lot of capability is the way to put it. Capability. Climate controls. So down here we have the climate controls. You can see I've turned everything off because I don't want it blowing on the microphone in here. But the auto is really simple. You just turn it on like that. It uses your setting. It's dual zone, so you can one way or the other turn it off with that. Button warmers are here and here. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. I don't think there's a lot to show you. Down under here, you can just get a shot. You can see the USBs, the aux port, and a 12 volt right there. And this is nice and rubberized, so you can throw a phone in there, it won't slide around. Also good size. Most phones will fit in here pretty well. Very, very nicely done. Auto stop start. So this is how you start the engine. This is how you shut it off. Here's the parking brake. Pull it up to set, push it down to turn it off. Down here, you can see how the gears shift. So you pull the trigger, shift the gears. You can go into manual. So put it down here. You can push it over into manual. Now you can use this to shift gears. Pretty cool. Over here, you can see the engine stop start toggle. Everything else is empty. There would be other options if you had other options. So if you upgraded things, if you had the higher end of this, that, or the other. I will note that there is no clear way to shut off traction control in this car. That's, well, it's a thing. Excuse me, still getting over that cold. So down here is your management system, traction management. So you can see it's on regular mode right now. I can move it over and go into snow mode. It changes the screen, by the way. I'll have to show you that because it's kind of cool looking. You got snow mode and you got off-road. I didn't do a ton of off-roading. I did a little bit. This isn't really like a serious off-roader, but it will do dirt, dirt roads, dirt tracks, things like that. It'll do it just fine. It's about as capable as anything else you want to name. So I'll show you what these are doing. So here's what normal mode looks like. Here's what snow mode looks like. It just tells you on the screen very quickly what it's doing. And here's the regular off-road and the custom off-road, so you can adjust a few things with the custom off-road. And that's it. Most of what you're adjusting is just traction control, really. You're not really, you can't raise and lower it or anything like that. So really all you're doing is adjusting the traction control and how aggressive it is about that. Over here is the drink holders. Right here is a spot that they probably intended for a phone, but I don't know of any phone that would fit in here and stay in there. Unless you're old school with one of those old flip phones or something. Here is the center console. If you have a mega gulp, it will fit in there. Otherwise, I don't know what else you would do with that. It's not huge, but it's a good size. I like the armrest though. I also like the seating. This plain Jane, normal everyday vinyl like this actually feels really good. Because this, it's vented like this and it just feels good. I will note though that this dark color and the size of the greenhouse in this car means that this heats up quickly. So when you're parked for a little while, it feels like the seat heaters have been on. So it gets warm fast. Not always a great thing. But over here you can see just the plain interior. Again, the Teutonic design. I like the way they broke it up with this though, because this is a good looking, let's see if I can get a better angle. There we go, good looking, really just, it's the right thing. It doesn't shine at you. It doesn't get in your face, but it looks really good breaking all this up. But again, black on black on black on black. I get really, I've harped on that many times, and I will continue to. Back there, you can see the back seats. They are much larger, more leg room, more space than before, and also feels like a larger cargo area. I don't know if it's larger. I think it is, considering the numbers. I believe the cargo area is bigger. So. There you go. That's about all I've got for the 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. Tiguan. Tiguan.
Tiguan.
All right. That's it. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.